Hello everyone, my name is Patrick. So first off, I'm sorry for being away from YouTube for such a long time, but here I am right now. So actually this video is going to be a very short one in which I talk about, like briefly about pronunciation and psychology, how both these faculties are related. I also will be speaking about, also briefly, I will be speaking about word retention and recalling upon words while speaking, like how psychology is related to everything. Um, Actually, many of my students have asked me about these things, like how do I go about developing a good pronunciation? How do I go about recalling upon words while having a conversation, while speaking my target language, etc. That being said, I will not go through the analytical aspect of language learning, which is breaking down sounds and words and stuff like that. I can be doing that in another video, but for now I will be focusing on the holistical approach of language learning, the holistical part of language learning, and psychology around it as well. First question that I would like to ask you, okay, and you can drop your comments down below. So when you speak your target language, okay, do you speak it through the eyes of your primary identity, the identity that you have already acquired, or do you speak it through the eyes of the native speaker of your target language? In other words, do you drop your identity before or while speaking your target language, or do you speak it through your identity? Or do you speak it through the identity of a native speaker of your target language? So if you have any comments on that, just write them down below. That would be interesting to see what you guys think about it and how do you go about dealing with it. So I will tell you about what I do, what I personally do. So what I do is actually a lot more simple than what most people think in terms of fluency, pronunciation, and stuff like that. So apart from, because so pronunciation, let's talk a little bit about the analytical aspect. So to be able to develop a good pronunciation, you have to break down sounds, learn how to say them, train the musculature of your face, the facial muscles, etc. How to where to pronounce, tip of your tongue should touch the palatal side of your mouth, etc. All these things. So this is the analytical part, and this is very important. Okay, it's very important. But what's also very important is the amount of input that you have in your target language. The more input you have, the more output you will be able to produce. Okay. So I spend for each and every language I have spent, and I will spend as well. I will spend a lot of hours in the future, but I have spent already maybe hundreds, if not thousands of hours, developing my oral comprehension, okay? This is by far one of the most important thing, is having a lot of input can be comprehensible. It should be comprehensible up to 70 to 80%, but also 100%. But what is more important than this is actually when you start to speak, okay? Be it when you have monologues when you speak to yourself, when you have monologues, or when you are confronted with native speakers, okay? What to do instantaneously to trigger the good pronunciation within you, to trigger the recalling upon words that you have already acquired in your brain, in the passive part of your brain, passively, and how to get them to the active phase. So what to do instantaneously is while speaking to that person, is to not think in your mother tongue. Okay, do not think in your mother tongue. Do not think in the languages that you already know as well. Okay, so this is very important, because when you think while you're speaking your target language, when you are thinking through the languages that you already know, this will create a lot of distractions. Okay, you will be distracted. You will be distracted by your identity, but not only by your identity, but also by you will be distracted by the language itself. You will be distracted by the culture. You will be distracted by the people around you that speak your native tongue. Okay, and trust me, you would want to drop like at least 80% of these things, if not 100%. Like while I'm speaking English right now, I'm not thinking about my Lebanese roots. I'm not thinking about all the other languages that I speak. I'm solely focusing on English, and I'm speaking in English through the eyes of an American, a person that is coming from New York, from stuff like that. So I try to visualize. Okay, visualization is very important. So first off, you drop your ego, your identity, these things, all these things, your mother tongue, things that you already know. Okay, because you have to have space. Okay, so when you drop all these things, then you have space, and when you have space, you will be able to allow the target language to invade the space, and to have more space. Okay, because when you have your native tongue and all these things, it's a lot of distraction. It's a lot of like heavy stuff, right, in your brain. So it will create a lot of distraction, so to speak. So this is first thing. Second thing is visualization. Okay, visualize yourself as if you were a person coming from that country that is wishing to speak this language like a native speaker. So visualization / imitation. Okay, visualization / imitation. And these are not analytical things. These are purely psychological things. And these are by far one of the most important things that I have taught myself to do, and they have helped me. They have skyrocketed my progress in any given language. So yeah, visualization, imitation, and like just forget about your native tongue. Forget about what you are, like the things you have acquired. And trust me, this works like magic. Like instantaneously when you're having a conversation. And so when you are thinking, so when you dropped all these things already and you are having a conversation, you're producing sounds and words, you will notice that the production of sounds and words is much more natural. They will come a lot more natural than if you were to speak through the eyes of your primary language, through the eyes of the person you are. So yeah, visualization, imitation, dropping your ego, identity, all these stuff, and of course embrace the mistakes. I can't like emphasize this enough. Just go out there, make mistakes, don't worry about that. But like I just wanted to highlight these things. So yeah, I hope that this video helped you a little bit. So just try to focus, because in my opinion, actually language learning is about 70 to 80%. And I think that I've already mentioned this in another previous video that I made. 70 to 80% is merely psychological, is merely like the holistic approach of language learning. The other 20 to 30% is the analytical part, which is word formation, production, sentence formation, etc., sound production, and stuff like that. And so when you speak a language through the native speaker's eyes, okay, even the recalling upon words becomes more natural, more automatic, and you will notice that. Okay, so I would highly recommend you to start using this instantaneously. Okay, try to visualize yourself. Try to visualize as if you were a native speaker coming from that country wanting to have a conversation. It's as simple as that. And if you don't want to be confronted with native speakers right off the bat, just try to have a monologue with yourself. That helps quite a lot. Okay, because monologues, they build confidence over time. Okay, and I generally like monologues because they help me with confidence. Okay, with building my confidence in a given language. So that's it. Okay. Don't forget to write me your response on the questions, the answers on the previous questions that I asked you guys. And if you like the video, of course, like and subscribe. And I will be making other videos. If you have anything in particular that you want me to make a video about, just write me a comment as well. And I wish you a wonderful day ahead. See you soon.